you. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you.
Hi guys. Hi guys.
Hey man,
How you
welcome.
doing? Georgie's on
Everything is good.
nightclub.
Hey,
Good.
what club you talking about?
You know what
Nightclub
club you're
again.
in, bro.
Sorry, what was that?
You know what club you're in, bro.
Yeah, I
club.
told you.
Especially
don't wanna
if you're
know.
in Dubai. If you're in Dubai, I know which
Yeah.
club you.
Yeah. I got you.
George got some light.
Hello, everyone. I'm happy to see all of you here today. Looks like this core team is the one of the key opinion leaders of the No Bullshit Show on this distinguished DTV channel. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to see and introduce and welcome our guests. It's not the guests, it's the hosts for this show. They are Patel, they are Rico Pang, they are George Sebastian with his, I'd say, inside the Conrad Hotel party place, which are going to be there every week at the same time. But now I would like to share with you some interesting news which come to me today. And it's about Tether. It's about Tether, and I want to share my screen with you. Just let me do that. Yes, here it is. And what is about? It's about assurance opinion that confirms that Tether company, well-known USDT token, reserves fully backed, and company shares as part of ongoing transparency commitment to. We can find it behind a tweet, all this information in front of you. Someone of the more company getting that report done. And I want to hear just from the community where everyone on the last half of the year tell everyone for us that finally this year Tether to be scammed. What's happened? Well, it's not happened, and I would like to discuss it with you guys because now this case looks like gonna be closed. And if you don't mind, yes, my first question gonna be to the Rico. Rico, I would like to hear from you the comments about all this stuff.
I thought you were gonna ask Moo to say first.
Oh, Tether is used in your part of the world a lot, so I'm sure you have a lot to say.
Well, I think 2 months ago, all my friends say like, "Oh, stop using Tether. We all switch to BUSD and blah blah blah." I was like, okay, go ahead. And my friends were sending me USDT and say, "Oh, I can't send you 200,000 USDT. I can send you 200,000 USDT. What the hell is happening?" And we are still using USDT, like as per usual. All the scam and things just talk about it, and everyone came back to use USDT anyway after 1 week or 2 days. There's no difference to us. I mean, Tether is doing what they're supposed to do. And until they really get into trouble again, and you will see this FOMO again or this FUD again, I think if they just apply what Binance normally do by giving you assurance, insurance, that's the sexy word nowadays for any wallet or any sort of crypto business you are in. Even Sapiant, I think, should have insurance for the Gold Pack coin to make sure that, you don't lose your value, you lose your wallet, go look for Muru. So I think a lot of projects are going down that track where they will provide more transparency, audit, and third-party audit, So I think it's a good practice that we are happy to see in the crypto space. On the other hand, there may be more scams out there doing similar tricks and gimmick using the same strategy. Anyone can just launch a token and say, oh, I have an assurance report. Doesn't mean they really have it. So I think the source of the assurance report is very important, guys. Please, due diligence on the source of the auditor and make sure that they are legit. Don't just think that, oh, this token has another assurance or insurance. Oh, we can buy it. That's not true. So I think that can happen on Tether because they are Tether. They are really big boys in the crypto space. I think that's my advice for the space.
I will give you my real live experience, all right? In your part of the world, Rico, with some of your people, mate. So for those of you who know, and George does,
I would like to hear from George too, because
George will do it.
It will be cool.
Yeah. So real life experience, because Rico called me out here, so I got to respond to him.
Go ahead, Maru. Go ahead.
Go ahead, bro.
I think we need to make it juicier. So Tether, in my view, has always been at least one of the, what I call a foundation of trying to get fiat currency into the crypto world, okay? If Tether hadn't happened, people would still be calling crypto a scam, okay? So Tether kind of like created that catalyst and a bridge to say, look, if you want digital, we will send it to you. And it goes out in digital through the blockchain, assured, instant, all the rest of it outside the banking system, okay? So that's what it gave you. Followed on from that, you got all the usual forks and breakouts and all that. And something that Rico mentioned that I want to give live example on is a lot of people started saying, oh, backed with USDT or backed with USD or backed with this, backed with gold, backed with all this shit, right? And that's a very, very important point because I know George knows it. The previous people I did a short marketing stint with, a company in China, was constantly saying pegged with USDT. And every time I see it, said, look, my name is here. I want to make sure, I want to see it, how you do it, how you peg it, how you do that. Eventually, I never got any real answers. So I pulled out and I left a lot of millions on the table purely because of integrity. All right. Guess what? A year on, they get called out. There is no USDT they pegged on. Their coin became from $1 to 0.4 cents. All right. Lots of scammers out there. And of course, I called them out as well. Not right. I'm leaving. I don't want anything to do with this. It's a scam. Rico mentioned about gold. There are so many people say they are gold backed, gold pegged, gold this, gold that. Okay. Asset backed. Same thing with all the asset backed. Until you don't see audited stuff, and even our company, I've said the same thing to the guy. If I don't see audited stuff, I am no longer going to say this is gold pegged. And it has to be a proper top 6 accounting company type of an audit to say, where is the gold sitting in situ? Okay, so it's there in Dubai, but I want to see it in an audited fashion. Do you understand? So people need to see that audited report to say how it is pegged then, how the equivalent is secured. And there's a whole program about this on how you do that. So if it's on an asset, you can't just say my asset today is worth this, and you will have one coin pegged against that piece of asset. Asset prices go up, they go down. So you've also got to do regular, every 3 months, 6 months, depends on the type of asset, revaluation and see how you top it up to secure the investors' pegging. So it's very, very complex. And I've done this for real estate ages ago, and I had to do my fund revaluation through proper surveillances. So the surveillance agencies and the surveyors themselves used to come and reevaluate the price of your property. And guess what? Even I lost out during the 2008 crash when the property price and market and everything went down out of your control. So what happens? You start losing your assets, right? So Tether is a very good thing. The big challenge for this space is now the next one is my hobby horse with security-based token. Because even if you think about it, Tether is some form of a currency and a security. Bitcoin, same thing. People are doing Bitcoin-backed and Bitcoin-pegged coins. Understand? So people need to see that. And the other thing Rico mentioned was assurance. So we do insurances up to 100,000, and lots of insurance companies do that. They cover you for 100,000. But more than that, then you are stuffed. So you'd have to have multiple wallets or do whatever if you have more than 100,000. And these days, 100,000 is just, chicken shit. Let's be honest, right? So you are exposed, and there's no such thing as your own wallet, hard wallet. So if you have lots of coins, the advice to everyone is have it on your own wallet, do your own backups, do your own everything. Don't bloody depend on even the exchanges. Don't take their word for it. Don't say it's pegged. Take it and keep it yourself. I remember, Tim Draper taught me that lesson 4 years ago on stage. We said, where do you keep all these bloody billions that you have? He says, I know exactly where I keep it. And he goes like that. So you buy those tasers, ledgers, whatever you have to have your coin and put it in a safe or wherever, right? So, and with backups and all the private keys and things like that. Hope that answers your questions. I'm sure this is a very long subject, but again, this XRP thing is the next one, because if that is not resolved, whether it's a security token and how it's done, because even the SEC have been called out on it yesterday and day before, Friday, I read something about it, where some of the lawyers are saying that, hang on, you guys have known about this for so long, you know how it's collected. In that case, even Ethereum and a lot of these other coins could also be called a security. So sort yourself out. And if that fails, then we'll see another mini correction again, I think.
Thank you, Bro. George, let us know what's your opinion, what's your view.
Well, gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to be here. Thanks, Sergey. Thank you, Rico and Mru. Actually, a few things. First, there is good, bad, and ugly. I mean, good is these guys have been slow to provide the information. They've played the game right. It's drip, 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 drip. minimal required information. So at least they have provided and they have responded, which is better than not responding at all. Of course, the sources of the information are a little bit dubious because half of them are not stamped, half of them are not actually from an auditor. They're extracts from an email. I can write those emails myself. So that part is a bit on the risky side. On the other side, I think the government authorities have tried, but they have not really succeeded in also making their case as well, which is another issue. Third thing is that the entire economy of blockchain, at least from the exchange's perspective, is based on a lot of the work that is being done in USDT, because when people make transfers in USDT, you know what you're sending, you know what you're receiving. There's no surprises. Whether back, it's back, so that is good enough. So this is actually the most important thing. So the thing that the last part I think is also important
is that I believe that the fact that this has generated some very positive aspect in the whole community, I think the acceptance is there. And once you have acceptance, it's very difficult to remove that acceptance, Now, on the other side, I have not seen yet a better replacement. And until a better replacement comes, we're stuck with this semi-imperfect solution, but that actually works for now.
But George, there are other variations of USD, digital USDs. There are quite a few nowadays. So
DAI, USDC.
yeah, there are so many. There are so many. But the point here is USDT is more volume than Bitcoin, so it has the market share again, right? It does more transactions than Bitcoin. Noise, that must be
George.
George.
Yeah, I am muted him. Okay.
Okay. So there is a lot of what I call traction where USDT has more volume than BTC. So even the other variations, the Bs, the Cs, all these other variations, yes, they will get volume, but it's like anything. Bitcoin is the king of crypto. USDT is the king of digital fiat, yeah, at the moment, yeah. So in terms of going forward, I think the only thing that can happen now is USDT really, I guess, playing ball to make it easier and being a little bit more transparent as per the letter. If they do that, then I think the acceptance by banks, central banks, and all this digital currencies, and even the general public at large, they know that if they transfer X amount, the other person will get X amount, not whatever the market rate is, which is where the Ripple guys play the game to say we will cover the loss in that 3 or 4 seconds of the price through their Ripple, right? So there is that bit that's at play now.
Gentlemen, what I really feel, that all the humanity, I'm talking about crypto space, yes, we're looking for something, some stuff or something which can be backed or pegged to, but looks like it's the only that thing. It should be somehow maybe real estate, maybe some building where each and every moment you can ensure that it is existed, it's somewhere, or I can touch it, but to be sure about it from everywhere on earth, looks like that thing is the one. It's the moon. It appears each and every day around the globe, and we can ensure that some kind of material existed in front of, and we can't reach it, and we can change it somehow. But how it be implemented in our real world? Because when you're stealing, when you're just taking some money there, then can be stealed, and this can be happen each and every moment. How to solve that unsolvable problem within humanity?
No, it's not unsolvable. I mean,
really,
4 or 5 years ago, I was doing the real estate pegged coin when everyone was doing, ICOs and exchanges and wallets and all that, because I never believed in, non-asset pegged or backed kind of coin. And I gave up purely because the market is not ready, because it has too many stakeholders to do a real estate based peg, unless you just take the one building after it's done the whole transaction. So the middleman has already been through it. So where's the friggin' value at? You're just taking the building now and saying, okay, I'll divide it into a share. You might as well do an SPV for that building and carry on with life. You haven't got time for that shit. What I was trying to do is get rid of all that middleman as much as possible, from lawyers doing buy, sell, rent, whatever type of contract it is, commercial, residential, whatever, from the surveillance people, from the land registry people to say, yes, this is the property that he says he owns, from the checks from bankruptcies and all that to make sure there's no debt on the property, etc., 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 involved in that. There were 32 different stakeholders. So imagine that in a building. To get those 32 dinosaurs to work in a blockchain environment, forget it. They don't even know what API is. So forget it. All right. So you had to build the whole platform in a legal manner to do real estate. Difficult. Gold, other assets, you can, because you can get an SKR report and say, look, here it is. It's in the vault. Here's the SKR report. Here's the auditor's report. Away you go. This is the total amount. The current market value of gold is, everyone knows, it's open market money. It does not move up and down like other properties do or commodities do. So it's plus or minus 3-4% or whatever, and that's it. And then how you affect the liquidity balance, should the price dump or pump? And that's the other bit. So you have to have some sort of a reserve amount as well, even in the gold. Just like how central banks have reserves, you have to have a reserve in that as well for fluctuations. And then, of course, when you are over and the price is over, you can assign more coins. So our model was, whenever we made profit, we bought more gold. So the gold pile increases, not like other gold coins that are out there that claim they are gold coins, but they haven't bought shit. They want to collect money and then they go out and buy the gold. So all they have is paper contract to say, oh, I have the intention to buy 1,000 kilos from you when I collect some money from investors. So they don't have anything. So people take investors' money, then they go and buy, right? So that's the other model. But some investors might like that. Who knows, right? Depends on what the other value add is in that motion. So that probably answers your question. I think we should move to something more sexier. Just now,
I don't have any more news. That's why. Go ahead.
Just now, I see a lot of buzz about NFTs, obviously, and a lot of buzz about this new blockchain technology, which is disrupting a lot of people's minds as well, right? Rico, what do you think about what's happening in that front?
Well, latest news from my Sanctum site, Daily News, on NFT is that the celebrity brother Saiyan issued and auctioned the famous Saiyan NFT. So that's from my side of the NFT news. I think more and more celebrities are jumping into the bandwagon of issuing NFTs of their own personality or the ID, and then making a collectives. So I think it's a very good direction and traction we are getting in the DeFi and NFT space. I'm not sure how many people actually knows about NFT yet, but these 2 months I saw a lot of artists and friends are just coming into the NFT space, digitizing their artwork, digitizing their sculpture, finding all kinds of creative ideas to issue NFTs, print NFTs, and like I used like 120 Ethereum US dollar worth to issue my NFTs, and they complained and ran. I was like, hello, one transaction can cost you 100 US dollar worth of Ethereum for a transaction, and you use 120 US dollar worth of Ethereum to issue NFTs. So I mean, they are still finding it hard to believe that it costs so much to issue NFTs. And they're finding
it shouldn't do. As you said, it doesn't. I mean, we've got a platform under My Tokenized Capital where, we are actually going to do that, as you guys know what we're going to do even for the AIBC Summit, right? We are going to help artists. We are going to help people to actually convert any form of value they have. It could be a document, it could be a podcast, it could be a music video, it could be a clip, it could be a video interview, it could be a song, it could be a clip of a song, it could be a piece of art, it could be a shard. With NFT auto market makers and help you sell it. We will do that conversion for you. And in that, we are disrupting the world's economic model, and I call it socio-capitalism model, where we actually going to do 80% back to the community. So where artists, like Rico was saying, celebrities getting raped, for doing this, it's the same as the old world where producers, production people, distributions and all that. So if you're a singer, writer, painter, most of the money is taken by all these middlemen, right? And we are saying we're going to do that 80% back to you guys and help you move that.
Many people do not know there are such platforms out there, and they go for the top famous platform.
Correct.
And maybe for the first few NFTs, they will cost them more, but after some time, they will know it's actually cheaper because there's always other benefits once you became a regular, NFT issuer. So then they realize that after issuing a few, the costs start to drop. So this is why I think it's a learning curve for most of the people in the space about crypto. I think it's a very good publicity. At least it is something that they are interested or passionate about, that actually digitize their own assets, such as art, music, anything or any form of things. So a lot of things are coming into the picture where I also came about a project that's going to NFT virtual real estate. So then something that Muru has talked about few years back.
Yeah.
It was used in ICO. It was
Correct.
also used in STO.
Correct.
It was used in IDO in some of the projects I saw.
Correct.
Now it's going to be in NFT.
Correct.
So it's another testing and experiment here, everyone, that
Correct.
whether or not this model can be really happening or not, we still need to really, put it on the test and see if this can really work on an NFT model, and see how they structure the business to make sure that is a sustainable model, so that people will actually buy it, keep it, and transfer it on the wallet. Like what we always said, it can be a token, it can be an STO token, anything. But do we have enough liquidity? Do we have enough people who believe in this and really buying it because they really believe in it and transfer the asset across? I think that's where I think NFTs stand a very high chance to actually make this really happening. And this year, 2021, is still a bullish year. I think it's a good time to do this project. Definitely not 3 years down the track. It'll be a tougher market 3 years down the track, as we already mentioned in the last few series. So I think the NFT will be a very interesting topic that we can always deep dive. And I believe that we should get more artists, Sergey, to come and share their challenge of issuing NFTs. I think Sergey had challenged issuing his own NFTs and selling it the last time he told me.
Yes, I have it.
Right?
Unfortunately,
how do you sell it? How do you make like 20 times, 10 times, 5 times, or whatever by issuing it and selling it? How do you package it, design it, and make people understand that this NFT has actual value in it?
I mean, fully agree, because I've got even at the Dubai AIBC thing, I've got, as you guys already know, so I'm not saying anything new. I've got the panel with musicians there, and we're going to thrash exactly that subject with musician or artists, right? And make life easy for them. Because, two people I talked to, they said, what is an NFT? We people, we are in it, we take it for granted, but these are famous musicians who say, what is a fucking NFT? They don't even know what it is. And you have to go through the simple explanation. The producer, this is taking all this, and sometimes you might get 10-20% royalty of your song or piece of whatever. Now you keep 70-80% of it. Wow. It's like that. And by the way, it doesn't cost you to go out and look for sponsors and album sponsors and distribution sponsors and all these things, because the marketing and the digital social media and your fan club do it. And our platform also does the likes, shares, comments, and all of that. So people who do that, it incentivizes them to do that, so they get royalties from that as well. And they create a fan base, right? At the same time. So you are touching your clients directly, and you helping them, you're tweeting with them, or whatever you do, everything has a value and a token. Your photographs, everything has a value and a token, where in the traditional world, they couldn't put that head around it, right? So it is very exciting, very exciting. George, want to add anything? Georgie boy, you are muted.
Yes, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, for me, the most things that I think are top nowadays in people's agenda are primarily the DeFi protocols and their usage as they move and get acceptance. And the second one is NFTs. But I do believe that NFTs are still a little bit in the early immature stage. NFTs have been around for 4 years, but the platforms that use NFTs are not yet ready. And what I mean is like media streaming platforms, galleries of tomorrow. The monetization of NFTs is not there. And this is not the buying and selling of a $70 million NFT. Is how
it's not
when you put an NFT and you play it, or you record it, or you distribute it, then every guy or the owners or the part owners will get a few cents as a result from that activity. So those platforms are still evolving. It's not about meeting NFTs, that is pretty easy. It's really about the monetization part that needs to be evolved. And that is more difficult because you have to go plug in the right APIs in the existing systems that have been created over the last 10 years. And that does not get done in a week or two. That takes 3 to 6 months to do.
No, we've been at it for a year. We've been at it for a year. And believe me, it's very, very tough to get some of these smart contracts done to convert things into NFTs, but also how to monetize it, as George, rightfully says, to monetize it with you, your fan clubs, the journalists, the press, the media, whoever it is. Because if you want to bring the whole community, I strongly believe you have to change the balance of how people get paid and interested. It's like the Facebook keeps all your money and we are the product. I'm trying to do that now with the NFT and this market where we're saying, if you are the product in anywhere, even if you're a viewer or you've liked, shared, commented, you get some sort of a token for it, So you engage and disrupt the whole ecosystem that way. And that's one way it will happen,
True. I want to be sure, am I got right? If someone goes to create value and bring some kind of soul and spirit into their creativity, into their content, it could be picture, it could be song, it could be event, it could be some video presentation or something else, that story should be behind of that NFT token. And after that, and it could be some kind of evaluated or brings to the value. And in my point of view, you on that event going to give that chance to the people which are going to create that content on that stage. They are going to have that history about that moment and the ability or opportunity to trying to make them value to their own community. Am I right? Or it works some another way?
No. That is partly the case. But if you think about even the event side of things, how many people go to conferences and exhibitions and get a little stand somewhere and hardly see any traffic? And if they are lucky, they might get a press release out of it. Or if they are even luckier, they might get a good top quality journalist. There are lots of bloody YouTubers hanging around doing poxy or bloody 2-bit videos, right? But I mean top and tier 1 journalists, which they generally have to pay 5,000-10,000 if they are lucky just to do a little interview, right? So all that we will be giving away on our stand, okay? But you then digitize it, or the thing you touched on is any idea. You don't have to be a painter. You can be a creator, where you have an idea of a certain piece of art, but you have the artists, the digital artists, who are going to transform your idea onto a digital piece of art. So you become the creator, and that piece then can be converted into an NFT and sold, and you give the royalties out. So platform keeps a small portion, you keep a small portion for royalty, and then anyone who buys it owns the original. It can change hands so many times and people can make money on it for its lifetime. So if you are on a stand doing emerging technology and you have a piece of technology or a podcast or a white paper or an interview or whatever you count as value, or a diagram or an architecture, system architecture, which is groundbreaking, all of this can be converted into an NFT.
Who's going to be the owner of that asset? For example,
the creator, whoever the creator is.
Yes, I'm talking about that event. Who's come to this stage, or who bring that interview, or the interviewer?
Sorry, I don't get you. Who comes what?
Who will become the owner of that NFT token? Who will have that ownership?
Okay, so if you've done a video, Rico does a video with the NASDAQ journalist. Okay. He owns that video.
Rico will be owner, not NASDAQ journalist.
No, Rico. So then Rico can put it on his website. He can put it wherever. He can convert it into an NFT. Okay, we will do the conversion for him, but he's capable of doing it himself. But we would convert it for those who don't know. And then they get that NFT as their piece of collateral.
Cool. Yes,
so they could make a lot of money from it. Depends on what it is.
Yeah.
Because
depends
it's a
how many people
historical
view it, how many promote it, and people are, viewing
Correct.
it. So I think
Correct.
that's where we are looking at the attraction, impression that we normally have on search engines and viewership. That could be digitizing the asset. So I think that the concept of Muru is trying to say is about social capitalism.
Correct.
It's as an asset. So I think it's a very new concept. And it will take some time for people to understand this, because not people would, if someone is doing digital branding and digital SEO, all these things, they will get it like this because they know this is gold. This is a gold mine here. But for people who are not doing this sort of business in the traditional business and manufacturing or doing F&B, like what the hell is NFT? Like digitizing my video, like doesn't mean anything. Like I rather go on TikTok or I go on some other live broadcasts and I get people sending me things. I can exchange the flowers for some value. This is a similar concept here where you can digitize your own content, your own voice, your video, your picture, whatever you call it. As long as you claim it to be yours, you own it. So I think that's where people have more control of their own digital asset, and they actually have to know how to safeguard their non-custodial wallet. I think we need to stress on the point that if you buy anything in USDT and put into an exchange such as Binance, all the top centralized exchanges, if anything happened to the exchange, your money is gone. It's just like the bank going bankrupt. It's gone. It's just like a central bank go bankrupt and your fiat, your currency is worth nothing overnight. So that is the same concept in the crypto space. My partner Dunson lost 5,000 Bitcoin in the Mountain Gox hack because it's an exchange that got hacked, not the Bitcoin network getting hacked. But if he was to save the Bitcoin in his own non-custodial Bitcoin wallet, doesn't matter even Mountain Gox get hacked, right? His asset is in his own non-custodial wallet, which is a decentralized wallet in his own control with his own private key. So I think a lot of people still don't get that yet. And they think it's very easy, just register, do KYC verification, and I have a wallet on this exchange, that exchange. But they don't know the risks they may be associated with. So I think a lot of education needs to be done on what the same is going to happen for NFTs, guys. A lot of people may have a lot of NFTs. Suddenly they lost the NFTs overnight. And that could be worth a lot of value over the time. As we all know, this could be something that we want to safeguard and making sure that the community, the people, the artists, who all these content owner know how to safeguard their assets and not lose the private key or forget a private key. All kinds of things could happen. Like how many times do you forget your password nowadays?
Oh my
right?
God.
How do you make sure that you don't forget your private key and you don't lose that piece of paper that you wrote down the private keys, or even you don't even put it on the cloud-based database or memo or Word document, you put the private key. Says no, you don't do that because it could be hacked easily. So things like this are things that we should actually tell more audience about and learn the next step. And of course, launching an NFT is like launching an ICO. You need to do a lot of marketing. You need to do a lot of storytelling. You need to know what is the business model that you're doing for these NFTs. Otherwise, it's just like listing a new product into a hypermarket. You put the product onto the hypermarket on the rack. Nobody will buy because nobody knows there's an extra item on the rack.
Yep. So tomorrow, that's a very good point on the marketing side. I don't know. I think I've sent you the NASDAQ interview video. We are doing another one with Iman on Friday and a press release hopefully tomorrow. So all the sponsors, you guys, you better send me logos and shit and nail it down, bro, because once that goes out, it's going to all the big TV, press, media people. And then you will see the momentum, right? Then you see the momentum. And it's part of the history. So all the founders, again, giving back, Rico said as well, the social capitalism model. It's giving back. All the people who are there from the founders' side in this first inaugural launch, including the app that manages all of this, right? We're building, right? It's been going on for a year. We are tuning it now for the stand side. So that app will be done for the tokenized stand. And what will happen now is that whole model of, if you're a journalist and you write about it, you get credit for it. So that will steamroll it. So you'll get journalists coming to say, oh, I want to write about this. I want to talk about this. I want to share it, like it. If they've come into the system, they get credit for it. So it incentivizes everyone to like, share, comment, and spread the word for the gross marketing, as Rico was saying, and I've been saying for ages. But most importantly with NFT is literally anything can be converted into an NFT if it has value. My jargon for this is be the coin, You are the asset, my tokenized capital. You are the coin, right? So that's what we are trying to empower people to become.
Rico, I would like to ask you one question. It's a concern because over 2 months, maybe last one, 2 platforms, OpenSea and Rarible, so concerned about the content, about the pictures coming to their platform. So many shit happening there, and they have to distinguish somehow, say, this is real author, this is the real painter, this is the man who owns that, and it's not the copy one, it's not the scammer one, it's not the cheater one. How do you, in your perspective, gonna to distinguish that, or it's now works based on this event? Just let me know, because so many stuff will happening and will create and come into that, and all of them looking for money. Really, all of them just want to sell something and go out of the market and don't care about that shit.
Guru, want to go first?
I can do it very quickly.
I'll go last on this. I have a lot of things to say about this.
I have so much to say about this. Okay, let's look at it in the real world, okay? It's the same. What's an original? What's a copy? You go to China, they'll knock out a copy for peanuts on literally anything you want. Anything.
Not just in China, also in India, in Africa.
China is the world's best, I think, grade A. You get
grade A copy, right?
Grade A copy is China. Nobody.
I won't be surprised if the grade A copy comes from Africa very soon in the next few years.
No, it can't, because they don't have the bloody technology.
You will be surprised in the next few years.
At the moment,
guys in Africa can do better than the Chinese. Just a matter of time.
So it's like traditional stuff, all right? So even on this thing on my back, if you see, I'm a big collector of art, statues, and memorabilia. I've got hundreds of signed memorabilia. Believe me, I've met a lot of big famous people, sports people, cinema people, all sorts of people in my life. And I've got autographs. But there are some times when I've bought them at an auction. Okay? At an auction, at a charity auction, right? Now, at a charity auction, and renowned charity auctions around the world, you can't say where is the authenticity certificate. Okay? So in the digital world, that's what you're trying to find. What is the authenticity certificate? So as a collector now, for argument's sake, one of the things there is a pair of gloves signed by, one glove, signed by 9 of the world's top heavyweight boxers, including the Muhammad Ali, Tysons, and all that, okay? Now, it has come with a certificate, and I paid a lot of money for it in an auction, but how do you know it's really, really, really real?
You wear it, and you feel Tyson.
Do you understand? Do you understand what I mean?
I know what you mean, bro.
Yeah. So
how much you bought that boxer for, bro? I'm more interested to know that.
No, but you see, because I'm just, I don't know, whatever it is, I have a sports room. I like to do that sort of shit, right?
Right.
But and the way I also look at it is it's money given to charity rather than something I've bought. That's the other way. So I've got watches and necklaces from Angelina Jolie's and all sorts of stuff like that, right? Schumacher stuff and anyway. Tiger Woods, when he first started golf at the BA Open, that I met. So it's my lapel actually signed, right? So that is original. That I know because I was there. But how do you even verify it? It's your word against somebody else, right? I was there. I took the bloody signature, right? Same thing. I've got Sevi Ballesteros' club, golf, hat, gloves, all sorts of things. Because I've played golf with him and I've got these things authentic. But I've got a photograph of him actually signing it. But for 90% of that stuff, the authenticity is a problem. Now, coming back to your question, in the digital world, you have the same thing with stock images and photographs, okay? So where people have images and photographs or whatever they've created, if it's copyright and you've used it, what happens on the internet? Until someone finds it, they'll say, oh, you're using my picture. Here's the source. You can't do it. In a rarible and NFT world, it's a huge exercise with huge quantum computing to scan the whole of the internet and other sources to actually find what is an original and what isn't. And even then, it's very hard work. We've created, Georgiana and myself, we've created a few pieces of art based on our ideas and passion and all these things. It's being digitized, okay? Now, we know we are the creators. We may be using some people, places, items, whatever from the real world, but in that configuration and messaging, nobody's doing it. So we know it's original. So even if someone went and did a copy scan of it out there to see whether it was plagiarism, they won't find it as plagiarism because you're playing with plagiarism, right? And the second thing is, I think a lot of the image recognition and plagiarism kind of software apps, there are so many coming up now, and hopefully some things will be used. But in the digital world, that piece on the blockchain, I think that's the only thing you can go by. Rico, sorry I took longer.
No
I hope I
worries.
touched on most of the stuff.
You did. I'll compliment you on that. So we are talking about digital identity here, Sergey. Your question that you touched on is about digital identity. And this has been an ongoing thing, not only on pictures, images, or assets. It's on everything. On a picture of you and me, there should be identity to know that it's actually real and me and you picture, not something like a reface image.
Photoshop, yeah.
Face like Photoshop, whatever, change. Like my skin is glowing, but it's not really my skin, sort of thing, because of the filter I'm using. That's not original because of a filter. So a lot of digital identity issues has been addressed, and Dunstan touched on, Muru touched on a very important thing about quantum, because right now at this point in time, we have not enough storage space. We don't have enough computing power to process all this information fast enough to detect whether it's real or not real. There's no database, that is big enough to store all this data information and process it in such a quick time that you will know instantly this is a real or fake. Because the moment someone copy this and paste it, it becomes another copy. And he sent it to another person. In few seconds, the same copy of document or picture or whatever it is being duplicated. And you need quantum computing in order to process and analyze and say, look, this is number what copy, was being copied when, what time to what time, and what location. Those of system is not there yet. So I'm saying that, yes, you're right. We have been looking at this matter, but a lot of people are trying to solve this problem. A lot of scientists, people in the computing, quantum computing, edge computing, they're trying to solve this sort of issue. Kodak used to do some project about pictures identification. They went into another project instead of photocopy machine. They went into that business because they have a huge database of all the documents being photocopied in the past in the database. So they can actually match everything using the ID system. But still, that didn't come true yet. A lot of people are talking about document digitizations and to make sure that the document is real. A lot of people are talking about digitizing, strata title as a certificate, and it's still a big issue now in the digital transformation world where we are still finding it hard to store so much data and to actually pull it out and analyze it. And it could be transferred, it could be hacked, it could be, stolen away from the databases that are being stored. So I think that is a huge problem at this moment as we speak, that this solution is not here yet, right? Which is why whatever you tokenize, at this point in time, using a spot NFT contract is what is the best you have now at this point in time in the market. But we don't know, maybe in the next few years' time, when we have quantum computing that can achieve 1 cubic power or quantum volume that up to like 500, you can say, oh, that's fake, you know. I may be having a copy, Muru having a copy, it could be the same copy because we copy from each other. That could happen one day when we reach that. But at this point in time, we can't. So using a blockchain at this point in time is the best approach now, and the best technology that we have in the market to actually, you know, print your token and your asset using this approach, which is why it's gaining so much popularity. There's nothing like this in the history that you can do this with just a few clicks and you mint your own, you know, non-fungible token, and it's a collective that you can't duplicate. I hope I answered the question, Sergey.
Yes, you know, what I feel looks like nowadays humanity looking for some chance to have just any approach to the solution to be responsible and fair with each other, because we are trying to fake and we're trying to, I'd say, to fool each other so many times. Just 300 years ago, we do not have any chances to copy something. We do not have any chances to make...
No. 300 years ago, sorry. 300 years ago, people were copying even knives and stone-based spears and everything. People were copying since the day zero, right? People were copying. You know, someone had a piece of stone they used to kill the animal to eat. Someone saw that and said, oh, I've got this stone. I'll make this also stone sharper. And he copied to make that animal die. People were copying. All right, sorry.
Okay, in that place I'm wrong, you know, but you know, but for have a wealth, for have so many things, yes, for everyone, they have to copy it somehow, and now they find that way. But now the copies are so much, they are going to fake to each other for that piece of money. Unfortunately, yes, we're living in this world.
No, you copy it, and some of it. Sorry, Sergey. You know, my view is real creativity. Someone can spot.
Yeah.
An expert can also spot a copy. So creativity for me is where someone's come up with a fantastic idea, thinking totally out of the box to disrupt, where people are laughing, saying, what the fuck is this guy trying to do, man? It's so funny. It's like me telling people this my tokenized capital project with tokenized stand and saying, I'm going to share all the profit and all of that, 80% back to the people who are sponsoring, and I'm going to make it a token, and they earn for all future stands and they're part of this, and anyone who rides will share. What the fuck? What are you doing, man? Yes, that's creativity.
Yes, craziness becoming value. Yes, you're right.
It's creativity, right?
Yeah.
Try copying that, because it ain't easy. Right? Why are you laughing, Rico?
Because I heard him telling me about this idea. You told me about this idea.
Yeah. 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks.
2 weeks ago. And I tried to tell people the same thing, and they laugh at me.
And that's when you know you have a winner. When the light bulb, when the computer, when mobile phones, when what General Magic, right? All these things, when they're first shown to someone, they laugh at you, correct? That's when you know this is different. That's when you know it's creativity.
Yes, on this very good point, I would like to say to the audience, just be creators. Don't looking for the copies of you. If someone copies something, what do? Maybe you are doing the right thing, and someone want to be the same stage and want to be a copy of you. But the creator is every and each time going to be the first, and going to be looks like very creativity in front of the other people. So they are going to value extremely only you. I think this is the point where we find out the right solution to each other, because only people can solve that solution, not unfortunately even machines and blockchain.
True, true. You know,
We are
I was in the valley, and I don't know who said it. Probably Steve Jobs or our CEO Scott McNeely said it, and he says, you know, when you go and propose a solution or a new technology to someone that everyone falls off laughing and then, what the hell is it? He says that's the one you want to try and do. When it's so big, bad, hairy, and audacious that someone is, what is this guy smoking? Think about when Bitcoin was created. People must say, what the hell is this thing all about? And people laughed, right? Look at it now, right? So when something is really, you know, when people were used to making phone calls like this and say, now imagine there's no wires. Yeah, how are you going to do that? No wires. I remember that story when I was in Plessy in those days when they teamed up with Motorola to do that, right? It was so funny when people are arguing, what do you mean there's no wires to talk to someone, right? This is in the 60s and 70s, right? Was happening, right? So creativity, unfortunately, and I have a thing about this, computers and laptops have made creativity go down because people are too busy doing this, playing games. Real, true creativity during our lifetime has been internet, mobile phones, and now blockchain, the currency for fueling that, right? The real creativity. There's not many real creativity youths go like this. So now with the lockdown, with COVID-19, a lot of people have started, you know, feeding their brain juices to do something creative. And I hope something good comes out of it, right?
Yeah,
I think we
Rico,
are
maybe,
living in
maybe.
as we are all living in the digital content era, as your audiences are seeing us in the digital, format, the value of digital assets is going up, not just Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever. All the things that you see and touch that could be digitized, the value will be going up eventually in just a matter of time. So I think people need to realize that this is a change in our lifestyle, in our mindset about anything that has value. It's no longer that paper, the pen, or signature that Muru said someone signed for me. It's probably going to be stored in a digital format. Eventually, Muru is not going to store that football with a signature, the T-shirt with Tiger Woods signature, because that T-shirt or that thing can't last that long.
Correct.
But
Correct.
that object in a digital format could last for 100,000 of years, which still can be stored. The video that we recorded today can still be stored and has its value. And we talk about this 200 years later, we can be quoted because this data is still there. That data, that object, the art piece, wherever there, or things that could be still in some museum as an artifact, right? But this is the power of digitization and the transformation era where we're moving from internet to content being digitized. So I think this huge leap is happening at our lifetime now, and we need to really use this to change our life. I mean, this is a huge business, in fact, which is why blockchain is going to be one of the technology. It's a tool. In fact, I keep telling people blockchain is an awesome tool. You should learn how to use it to your benefit in every business that you are in. I think that is something that I hope the message will go through to more people and start reading and learning about, cryptography, blockchain technologies, and how it can actually bring value to your own business and to your own self.
Yeah, and it's becoming a lot easier now as well, and it needs to, where people can create their own blockchains, cross-chain platform wallets, just by drag-drop types of technologies and smart contracts being done that way. So it will evolve and it'll become very visual and it'll become very simple. If you want to do a smart contract on, I don't know, a property for renting to tenants, you just drag drop a few smart contracts and you've created a blockchain based smart contract with the person and you're done. none of this expensive lawyers that you have to go through, things like that. So a lot of jobs will be, how do I say it, repositioned over the next 5 to 10 years. A lot of them will be repositioned.
Totally.
That's how disruptive it is.
Yes.
Gentlemen, I feel that this process, I'm talking about the process of migration from real space to digital one, it's unstoppable. But I want to say thank you personally for your thoughts, for your mindset, for your great ideas, and sharing your opinion to our audience as well. I want to tell to all of you goodbye for now, and for sure I want to see you on the next week on our No Bullshit show with Mira Patel, with Rico Pang, with Katerios. I hope she will come to our show next week too, for sure, with George Sebastian and maybe our next guest, which are going to be invited here on our show on the next week too. Thanks a lot. See you. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye bye. Have fun. Rico, I'm gonna call you.